Well, folks, by this time we have our third and fourth stringers out on the field, so I felt that it was an appropriate time for me to hop on here and give you my instant reactions, give you things I liked about the performance from the Buffalo Bills and things that I did not like and things that I think we sincerely need to work on leading up and gearing up for the regular season. But by the way, folks, say that you've been following me for quite some time, you know that I have had my variety of backgrounds, okay? I once had like a shoe rack behind me, I had like boring walls or whatnot, but thanks to Preseason Auction, our sponsor for today, I'm finally getting some cool stuff on my back wall to improve the aesthetic, if you will. Signed Jim Kelly jersey, absolutely incredible, and then also we have a signed Thurman Thomas helmet. Guys, Preseason Auction is the #1 website when it comes into signed sports memorabilia. How it works is that you log on, you type in what you're looking for, and each and every single signed piece is auctioned off. The highest bidder ends up getting that mailed to their front doorstep. Link is in bio. And say, for example, that you do sign up and you win your first bid. If you use my code DMITCH10, then you will get $10 off your very first victory. I am going to be loading up this wall. It is going to look almost unrecognizable for the upcoming season. And wait, folks, there's more. They're also sending me a signed Keon Coleman Speed Mini helmet. And I'm not keeping that for myself. I am giving it to you. That is right. I am running a contest. I'm going to give it away to one of my lucky viewers. The only way to enter this contest is quite simply, you have to be a subscriber to this YouTube channel and turn on those bell notifications. Leave a comment, Keon Coleman contest, and follow me on Twitter at RealDanMitchell. So go on ahead, knock it out, throw your hat in the ring, and definitely go on ahead and show some love over to Preseason Auction. But yeah, that's right, folks. We have ended up seeing our first and second teams play in the Chicago Bears game preseason week 1, and I have compiled a list of some things that I liked, things that I didn't like. Spoiler alert, there's a lot of things that I didn't like, but that is to be expected. It is the preseason after all. But starting off with the things that I like to really give this positive turn or spin on things. Number 1 has to be Curtis Samuel. Folks, the second that we ended up signing this man, I was the happiest on the face of the planet. I knew that since he was paired with Joe Brady in the past, he was going to be our Swiss Army knife, perhaps even revive our screen game, as he is a wide receiver that typically lines up in the backfield. And what did he do? Dude ended up going out there and getting a 12 to 13 yard reception, all right, highlighting completely his speed, his separation, his awareness. Love this from Curtis Samuel. A lot of naysayers and a lot of rivals were telling us, oh, he's your wide receiver #1. Well, if that's the case, then I think that we're in pretty damn good shape. That was one of the only highlights I saw from this Josh Allen-led 2 drives that occurred for the first quarter, but have to love it from Curtis Samuel to begin with. Next up, Khalil Shakir, again, absolutely feeding from Mitch Trubisky, also from Josh Allen going into it. I have a feeling that this guy is going to really take the league by storm. He is going to be a household name by the time the season is over with. I mean, dude is always wide open. There is massive real estate all around him, regardless where he lines up. Love to see what Khalil Shakir was doing out on the field today. He is going to absolutely be a terror when it comes into targets this year. Him and Dalton Kincaid are easily going to lead this team in overall targets in 2024. I can almost guarantee you that. Next up, I loved Javon Solomon. Damn. Shout out Javon Solomon. 5th rounder we ended up nabbing during the draft this year. Lined up on the edge. Well, he didn't end up getting any pressures or any sacks from what I saw. He was making plays against the run game. And that is something that we need, somebody that can set the edge, and he was making his presence known. I am more than happy that he will be having a depth spot rotating in and out with AJ Epinesa. This is a run game weapon, and outside of Javon Solomon, that was probably one of the few bright spots I saw from the run game moving into it defensively. And then last but not least, Mitchie Biscuits. Mitchell Trubisky. Listen, I understand that he ended up having his gaffe during that red zone offense. He made a couple of iffy throws, but dude was out there, man. He was out there, made a couple of conversions with his legs, was making some solid passes right to Khalil Shakir, a couple of other guys. Seems like he's super comfortable with this offense. As much as I respected Kyle Allen, last year there was always something in the back of my head, like God forbid Josh Allen were to go down and we would have had to rely on Kyle Allen to win us a couple of games. that was just a massive cloud hanging over my head. Mitchell Trubisky, I feel, from what I saw today, from what I know of him when he was on this team previously, I could trust that dude to win 2 out of the 4 games if, for example, knock on wood, by the way, Josh ever ends up going down. So, not bad. So now it comes down into the negatives, folks. All right? Oh man, fasten your seatbelts. And again, all right, for anybody that's going to overreact in the comment section saying, Dan, it's just the preseason. I know it's just the preseason, okay? But that still means that I want some things to be polished up because I saw a couple of red flags out there. Number 1, offensive line. Listen, our run game was struggling today, especially with James Cook, and then also when it ended up coming down to Ray Davis. Very few splash plays, never more than 2 or 3 yard gains. I have to watch the film once it gets released on all 22, but I almost have a feeling that it's our offensive line that's absolutely struggling with this run blocking scheme. You move Connor McGovern away from the left guard position, move him over to center. Now you have David Edwards and Deion Dawkins on the left. Does that mean that separating those two on the left side of the line is going to hurt our overall run scheme? Because that was the strongest part of our run offense last year, was that side of the line. So that was a concern. Staying on the offensive line, while there wasn't anything significant from Connor McGovern, right? Like no fumbled snap. If you watch the tape closely, some of those snaps were pretty ugly. Pretty low, not right in Josh Allen's hands, but what else can you expect from a guy that's only had 100 professional snaps in the league? Really hope that he ramps up. If not, give Cedric Van Pran the go at center, move Connor McGovern back to left guard. I feel like we would just be fine, but that's my thought. Run defense was terrible. All right. I mean, I feel like Herbert was just running all over us, setting the edge, getting to the outside, 10, 11, 12-yard gains. They were almost running the ball at will from us at that point. And then I can't even try and remember when Caleb Williams ended up doing that little shot put check down pass and the dude ended up taking it about 40 yards down. Have to make our tackles. That is absolutely huge. Going back, run game was pretty lackluster. I already ended up touching on this. Not very good. Is it the running backs or is it the offensive line? I'm kind of feeling more on the offensive line side of things, so I want to see better. 3rd and long defense. I'm sure you guys ended up watching that absolute missile from Caleb Williams when it was 3rd and 12 right in the first quarter. DJ Moore ended up coming up with it at the end of the day. It was a great throw. I'll give him that, but still a concern because we know that Buffalo Bills fans, 3rd and long, I feel like all of us are already immediately visiting, oh no, they're definitely going to convert. I don't want that as a fan. I don't want that as a spectator. I want to feel, okay, this is a 90% chance that we are going to receive the ball again and not have to worry about some of these QBs or offenses making those conversions. So once again, 3rd and long still seems to be a trend for this team. Red zone offense, I mean, obviously this was Mitchie Biscuits. And obviously, folks, I understand that we're not going to throw everything out on the field today. It's the preseason. We don't want to have film out there for our regular season opponents to see. But it almost seemed lazy, right? Maybe they were trying to give Keon Coleman like his first NFL touchdown, and they were just trying to feed him. I'm talking very similar routes both times, targeted right to that dude, right into the end zone. And while I think that it was kind of questionable, should have been a PI during that second attempt, I thought that red zone offense was just lazy and like uninspired almost. So I want to see a better red zone offense. And then last but not least, discipline, folks. Buffalo Bills had a lot of killer penalties. Once again with Cam Lewis, although that was ticky-tacky, still can't have that. I thought that there was a lot of flags when our first and second teams were out there. A lot of very avoidable issues. If I were to reflect back on what plagued the Bills last year, all of these negatives that I just listed were rearing their ugly head once again during today's game. So I'm really hoping that we can clean this up. I'm positive that we are. Like I said, this is the preseason. We're going to be keeping a lot of things close to the vest. But those are my takes thus far. I am going to be waiting for the all-22 to drop. Hopefully I'll be able to do a video tomorrow, or maybe even I'll wait for it on Monday and I'll have a guest on so we can really unpack this information. But folks, Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for those of you that tuned in to my live game reaction. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those bell notifications, and as always, we will see you mañana.